Iškylos ir stovyklavimas. Iškylos ir stovyklavimas. Kilti, kyla, kilo. Kilti, kyla, kilo. The prices, kainos, are rising. Kyla. Kyla kainos. The prices are rising. Kyla kainos. Kyla kainos. Iškyla. Iškyla. A picnic. So this word is derived from this verb to rise. So ish means from and kelti means to rise. So it means to rise something from something. Well, it's hard to say what the literal meaning is, but išsikelti means to go out from somewhere. For example, išsikelti iš buto means to get out from a flat, to move from a flat to some other kind of house or something else. So išsikelti, the reflexive verb, means to move from one house to another, and iškelti means to lift up something. So it literally means to lift something off, to lift from the ground, perhaps. So iškyla is related with that verb, and it means a picnic. Something when you're just lifting yourself up from something, or just moving yourself to another place. So it has that connotation. Iškyla. Iškyla. I like, man patinka, picnics in the nature. Iškylos gamtoje. I like picnics in nature. Man patinka iškylos gamtoje. Man patinka iškylos gamtoje. Man patinka iškylos gamtoje. Now, this noun has a verb that's related, and that's made from this noun. So, iškylauti, iškylauja, iškylavo. Iškylauti, iškylauja, iškylavo. To have a picnic. This weekend, šį savaitgalį, we are going to have a picnic. Iškylausime. Šį savaitgalį iškylausime. Šį savaitgalį iškylausime. This weekend we're going to have a picnic. Šį savaitgalį iškylausime. Šį savaitgalį iškylausime. Išvykti, išvyksta, išvyko. Išvykti, išvyksta, išvyko. This word has two meanings: to depart or to go to a trip. So, for example, jis išvyko, he departed, or he went away. For example, by a train or on foot, it doesn't matter. It means to depart. Jis išvyko, he departed, he went away. But when you can also use it in the context of to go to a trip. For example, kur išvykote? Where did you go to? Išvykti į Italiją, to go to Italy. Išvykti į kelionę, to go to a trip, to start a travel. Išvykti, atostogauti, to go on holiday, to go somewhere on holiday. So, kur išvykote? Where did you go to? It sort of means departing. So, where did you depart and where did you go to? No, where did you head to? So, kur išvykote? Where did you go to? Kur išvykote? Kur išvykote? Kur išvykote? So in a similar manner, a noun is made, and from the past tense of this verb, from the third basic verb form, a noun is formed. Išvyka. 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 Just like iškelti means to move something from one place to another, uh, just as you move from your house to nature to eat, the same way išvykti, to depart, to go somewhere, to go to a trip, to head for, this verb is turned to a noun. A trip or a tour or a picnic. Išvyka. Išvyka. It's a trip to nature, for example, or in nature. It's like a tour or a picnic or just some kind of activity when you go somewhere. Go to another country, go to another city, or you're just moving away from some other place. So, išvyka. Išvykos gamtoje. It's not a sentence, this is only a collocation of words. Išvykos gamtoje. Trips to nature, or literally it means in nature, because gamta is nature and gamtoje, locative case, in nature. So, trips or tours or picnics in nature. Basically, picnic is mostly iškyla, but išvyka means, it could also mean a picnic. Some kind of meeting in nature, or eating out in a forest or near a lake, in a seashore, or some kind of other similar kind of activity. So, išvykos gamtoje, tours, picnics, trips in nature. When you move from a city to nature, as in Lithuanian it is said, gamtoje, in nature. That means not in a city. Stovėti, stovi, stovėjo. Stovėti, stovi, stovėjo. Where, kur. Is your bag, tavo kuprinė, standing, stovi. Where is your bag? Well, literal means where is your bag standing? Where standing your bag, literally. But, in English we can translate it as where is your bag or backpack. Well, kuprinė means a backpack. So, kur stovi tavo kuprinė? Kur stovi tavo kuprinė? Where is your backpack? Kur stovi tavo kuprinė? To be somewhere could be used with this verb, stovėti, to stand. So basically it means to stand or to be at, to be somewhere. Stovi kuprinė. Čia stovi tavo kuprinė. Here's your bag. Here's your backpack. Literally standing, but this is where someone put it. It means to stand or to be somewhere. To be put somewhere. Kur stovi tavo kuprinė? Where's your backpack? Kur stovi tavo kuprinė? Stovykla. Stovykla. In the summer, vasarą, I'll go to, važiuosiu, to a camp, į stovyklą. In the summer, I'll go to a camp. Vasarą važiuosiu į stovyklą. Vasarą važiuosiu į stovyklą. Vasarą važiuosiu į stovyklą. Stovyklavietė. Vieta means a place. So this is a compound noun made from this word stovykla and vieta, a place. And since this is a compound noun, this is the stovyklavietė. This is the vowel that joins those two different combined words, and the ending changes because mostly for compound nouns the endings are is for masculine and e for feminine compound nouns, and vieta, a place, changes to stovyklavietė. The compound noun endings are can be different from the second noun endings. So, stovyklavietė, 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 a campsite, Where is or where? Kur? Our, mūsų, campsite, stovyklavietė. Where's our campsite? Kur mūsų stovyklavietė? Kur mūsų stovyklavietė? Kur mūsų stovyklavietė? Stovyklauti, stovyklauja, stovyklavo. Notice the pattern. It's the same as iškylauti, iškylauja, iškylavo, made from the word iškyla. So the same way from the word stovykla, stovyklauti, stovyklauja, stovyklavo. The same pattern. These are the verbs made from nouns. Stovyklauti, stovyklauja, stovyklavo. Stovyklauti, stovyklauja, stovyklavo. To camp or to go camping. On holidays, per atostogas. Per means through. So literally through holidays. This is accusative case because atostogos with o, atostogos means holiday. It's a plural noun, and per atostogas accusative, through the holidays, literally. So on holiday, through holidays, literally. On holiday, per atostogas, always, visada. We like, mėgstame, camping or to go camping, stovyklauti. So on holiday we always like to go camping. Per atostogas visada mėgstame stovyklauti. 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 Stovyklautojas, stovyklautoja. Stovyklautojas, stovyklautoja. Stovyklautojas, stovyklautoja. Stovyklautojas, stovyklautoja. A camper. Here, čia, gather, susirenka, a lot of, daug, campers, stovyklautojų. Of course, this is a person. A male, a female. Here, many campers gather. Čia susirenka, here gather, a lot of campers, daug stovyklautojų. Čia susirenka daug stovyklautojų. Čia susirenka daug stovyklautojų. Čia susirenka daug stovyklautojų. Čia susirenka daug stovyklautojų. And one more time. Čia susirenka daug stovyklautojų. Pastatyti, pastato, pastatė. Pastatyti, pastato, pastatė. To build, for example, a tent. Statyti palapinę. The word palapinė will be in the next slide. We can't. Mes nemokame. Build a tent. Pastatyti palapinės. We can't build a tent. This is genitive because to not be able to build is still regarded as a negative, action or something else. So remember that negative verbs require genitive, and palapinė turns to palapinės, to a genitive. So to not be able to build is still regarded as negative, and this is genitive. We can't build a tent. Or we're not able to build a tent. Mes nemokame pastatyti palapinės. Mes nemokame pastatyti palapinės. Mes nemokame pastatyti palapinės. One more time. Mes nemokame pastatyti palapinės. Išardyti, išardo, išardė. Išardyti, išardo, išardė. To dismantle or to disassemble some kind of construction. For example, a tent, in our case, since we're learning about camping and picnics. We need, or it is needed, reikia, to dismantle or disassemble the tent. Išardyti palapinę. Faster, greičiau. So it is needed faster to dismantle the tent or disassemble the tent. I'm not sure what's the correct English version, what the correct English word is used for saying to disassemble a tent. Perhaps disassemble? Write it in the comment section. We need to disassemble the tent faster or soon. Or, for example, we need to get out. So, reikia greičiau išardyti palapinę. Reikia greičiau išardyti palapinę. We need to disassemble the tent faster. Reikia greičiau išardyti palapinę. Reikia greičiau išardyti palapinę. And one more time. Reikia greičiau išardyti palapinę. Palapinė. Palapinė. Miegoti, miega, miegojo. Miegoti, miega, miegojo. Maišas. Maišas. One more compound noun. Miegmaišis. Miegmaišis. Kempingas. Kempingas. Laužas. Laužas. This is a fire specially started by people. When a building is burning, you should not use this word laužas, since it's a fire in a campsite, not a fire of a building that was accidentally started. You should only use laužas with fires specially started by people. The fire is burning, laužas, dega, nicely, gražiai. Well, it means nicely, or it's nice how the fire is burning, and so on. So literally, nicely burning is the fire, but we translate it as the fire is burning nicely. Well, I don't know if I can say the fire is burning, but no, the fire looks nice. Gražiai dega laužas. Gražiai dega laužas. Gražiai dega laužas. If you want to say the fire is, well, burning, or there's a fire in a campsite, you can say dega laužas. The fire literally is burning. Įkurti, įkuria, įkūrė. Įkurti, įkuria, įkūrė. To start a fire. Also, užkurti can be used. So instead of you can put už. I've already started a fire. Already, jau, started, įkūriau a fire, laužą. Jau įkūriau laužą. I've already started the fire, or a fire. Jau įkūriau laužą. Jau įkūriau laužą. Or jau užkūriau laužą. It doesn't matter whether it's or už. Jau užkūriau laužą. Kūrenti, kūrena, kūreno. Kūrenti, kūrena, kūreno. To fire a stove, or to burn something in a fire. So sukūrenti means to burn something in a fire. A finished action. Have you already, ar jau, burnt, sukūrenai, the newspapers, laikraščius? Have you already burnt the newspapers in a fire? Or in the fire? Ar jau sukūrenai laikraščius? Ar jau sukūrenai laikraščius? Have you already burnt the newspapers in the fire? Ar jau sukūrenai laikraščius? And one more time. Ar jau sukūrenai laikraščius? Uždegti, uždega, uždegė. Uždegti, uždega, uždegė. Notice the stress. Uždegti, degti, and uždega, uždegė. Uždegti, uždega, uždegė. Be aware of the stress. try to imitate, to ignite something. For example, at first, pirmiausia, fire or ignite, uždek. This is the imperative. Imperative is made with the suffix k from the infinitive. The newspapers, laikraščius. And by the way, if the infinitive has g, for example, uždegti, g is not pronounced. It's pronounced like uždegti, as if it was a k. K. Uždegti. Uždegti. It's not uždegti. Uždegti. It's uždegti. Uždegti. So basically, why there's k here? You can ask. Why there's uždegti and it's pronounced like the letter K, but it's G. Why it is so? Well, it's because verbs are usually written the same way as they are in the past tense. And the past and present tenses are uždega with g, uždegė, so it's with G. And uždegti, although the infinitive, the g is somehow reduced to k, it's pronounced like K, but it's still written with G, since the past tense and the present tense have the sound G and are written with G. And that's the reason why infinitive is written with G, although it's pronounced like K. So uždegti, uždega, uždegė. Be aware of this. And when imperatives are made from the infinitive, since they are always made from infinitive, if there is g, you take out the t suffix and add k suffix. But if there is g, the g is taken away, so you only get uždek, uždek. G are taken away. The letters g are taken away in imperatives if they are before the suffix t. So you take out t and then you take out j and you get uždek, uždek. K is the suffix for imperatives. See the Easy Lithuanian video for more imperatives. So at first fire or at first ignite, pirmiausia uždek, the newspapers, laikraščius. This is the plural accusative. Laikraščiai, laikraštis, a newspaper, laikraščiai, newspapers, and laikraščius, plural accusative. At first, ignite the newspapers. Pirmiausia uždek laikraščius. Pirmiausia uždek laikraščius. Pirmiausia uždek laikraščius. Užgesinti, užgesina, užgesino. Užgesinti, užgesina, užgesino. To put out or to extinguish a fire. Put out the fire or extinguish the fire. Well, perhaps put out should be used in this sentence. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments section. Your comments are welcome. Užgesink laužą. Put out the fire. Užgesink laužą. Užgesink laužą. And one more time. Užgesink laužą. Well, the last time. Užgesink laužą. Again, this is an imperative with k instead of t, since you take an infinitive, take out t and add k, so you get užgesink, užgesink laužą, užgesink laužą, put out the fire. Ugnis, ugnis. By the way, let me transgress for a while for this word, since it's an interesting word. Actually, this word hasn't changed much for thousands of years. And you know that the Latin word for fire is also agnes, or something like this. You know, it's very similar. The ending is the same, and agnes, you know, it's almost the same. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. The same goes for the Russian word огонь, огонь. You basically have the same root, that was in the Proto-Indo-European language. Ugnis, fire. So this is a word that's very old. That's very similar in Latin and in some other Slavic languages. The same is, by the way, for the word a man, viras. Viras in Latin is vir. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's written as V-I-R. V-I-R. So many words, especially those old words like fire, a man, a woman, or a mother, are not far away from the Proto-Indo-European language. And no, it's interesting, especially for those of you that are studying Lithuanian for linguistics. So let's continue our lesson. Laužavietė. Again, just like stovyklavietė, vieta means a place and laužas a fire started by people. Laužavietė. Laužavietė, a fireside. Laužavietė, another compound noun, a feminine compound noun. Kepti, kepa, kepė, to cook something. For example, in an oven, or in a pan, or over a fire. Kepti, kepa, kepė. Now the finished action or the perfective verb for this is iškepti, iškepa, iškepė. Again, notice the stress. The stress for the second and the third basic verb forms, for the second and the third basic verb forms, the stress goes to the prefixes. Iškepti, iškepa, iškepė. Iškepti, iškepa, iškepė. Try to imitate the stress. Now, to cook something for oneself, išsikepti, to cook something for oneself, not for others. Išsikepti, išsikepa, išsikepė. Išsikepti, išsikepa, išsikepė. Again, notice the stress was in the prefix in this verb, and since there's also a reflexive particle, since this is a reflexive verb, the stress goes to the reflexive particle. Išsikepti, the stress remains the same in the infinitive. Išsikepa, išsikepė. Si, the stress is in si. Išsikepti, išsikepa, išsikepė. Šašlykai, šašlykai. The singular is šašlykas, masculine noun, and the plural is šašlykai. Šašlykas, šašlykai. Šašlykas, šašlykai. This kind of food. This dish that's very popular, extremely popular in Lithuanian in summertime. Dešrelės. Dešrelės. Grilis. Grilis. Kepsnys. Kepsnys. The plural is kepsniai with y, with I-A-I. Kepsniai. Kepsnys, kepsniai. It could be a piece of meat, for example, vištienos kepsnys, a chicken roast, jautienos kepsnys, a beef roast, kiaulienos kepsnys, a pork roast, and so on. Kepsninė. Kepsninė. Grotelės. Grotelės. Kepti ant grotelių. Kepti ant grotelių. To grill. No, kepti, the word to bake or to fry, and ant grotelių, on grill. So to fry on grill means to grill. Kepti ant grotelių. Žarijos. This is plural. One piece of this thing would be called žarija, feminine noun, and this is feminine plural. Žarijos. Žarijos. Kepti ant žarijų. Kepti ant žarijų. To charbroil. When you put something into the thing that's in Lithuanian called folia. Folia. This is folia. You put a fish, for example, in folia, and then you kepti ant žarijų, to charbroil. Of course, kepti is this verb that you have to conjugate. So kepti ant žarijų, to charbroil. You put it here. Žarijos. Kepti ant žarijų. This is plural genitive. Again, this is also plural genitive. All plural genitives end in u nosinė letters. Grotelės, grotelių, plural genitive. Žarijos, žarijų. That was it for this lesson. I took a Judita. Thanks for watching. And by the way, there's one more word that I want to show you. And this word is iešmas. Iešmas. It's this metal object where you put your šašlykai. This long metal object. Iešmas. The plural is iešmai. Iešmai. So again, one more time, thanks for watching. Ačiū kad žiūrite. I hope this lesson was useful. If you have any questions about the words, about the vocabulary usage, or the endings, why there's such ending in one word and different ending in another word, or something like this, if you have difficulties, let me know, and I will pay more attention to these issues in some other videos. And I will know what areas are the hardest, what things are hard for people who are learning Lithuanian. So thanks anyway, and geros dienos. Have a nice day.